I have never been so afraid of a barber. Actually, maybe Sweeney Todd, but in Doctor Who.
Lagos, Nigeria.
I've been expecting you.
Wait, you're all missing.
It is always hungry. We must feed it.
Who are you? This is my domain.
Doctor!
What the hell is this?
Hands down, one of my favourite episodes. Doctor Who Season 15, Episode 5, The Story and the Engine. Spoiler free first, and then we will go into spoiler territory. So as we just saw from the trailer, the Doctor and Belinda are in Nigeria, Lagos, and to me, that's one of the best things they could have done. I don't know why it's taken so long for the Doctor to go to Nigeria or anywhere. Like, for example, I'm Ugandan. Come to Uganda next. Let's do a whole season just in Africa. I think there is ample opportunity to do some really cool stuff. But yes, in Nigeria, Lagos, and as we can see, we've got this father who, you know what, you can't trust, but you don't know why until you watch the episode. So I can't really talk too tough about that part. And then there is a giant scary spider. And not gonna lie, I don't know if I'm the only one, but when I saw the big spider, I'm thinking Empress of the Arachnos. Is that you? Are we getting another sequel? We already saw episode 3 and thought, yeah, that's the sequel, but is this another sequel? Well, that leads me into spoiler territory. So in 3, 2, 1, I'm gonna start talking spoilers. No, it does not put us into another sequel. That was not the Empress of the Arachnos, though I thought it was. The episode was a really strong episode because it's like, you know, in theatre when you're only in one place, and I think that is a nod to Inua Ellams and the fact that he's the writer of the Barbershop Chronicles, and I think maybe being used to writing for stage, that it makes sense to just keep them in sort of one location. So when you're in like this sort of one location, the story is really, it has to really carry through the characters, and I think it was done amazingly because first of all, we're in Nigeria, so you got that cultural side which was handled beautifully. The fact that the Doctor has now gone here because he wants to feel a sense of community, I think that was a very well written idea. Let's face it, the Doctor is black, and for the very first time, just like when the Doctor was a woman, had to deal with not being respected as a woman. Anytime 13 was met with a man in like pre-2000s, and there was that sort of dynamic of them not really listening to her or not wanting to listen to her because she's a woman, I think it needs to be addressed that the Doctor's black, and as a black man, maybe the places he's gone to before aren't as accepting as they were previously, just like in Dot and Bubble, which in fact, again, intentional, because Inua Ellams actually said like Dot and Bubble and this episode, The Story and the Engine, they're sort of companions. You've got one where the Doctor, because of his skin colour, is treated negatively and it touches on racism, whereas you've got this story which touches so beautifully on community. And I was just sat there like grinning ear to ear, like my cheeks are hurting because I was smiling so much. But yes, I think that sort of element of like the Doctor first comes in, he's dapping up the uncles, he's saying, yo uncle, this, that, the other, like this is his community, his place. And like, yes, the Doctor is a lonely god, but it's also like now with him being a black man, he could be even lonelier than before. Places where he was accepted, he's not as much accepted. And I think Inua Ellams did a brilliant job of being like, no, you know what, the Doctor's got his community and it's in Nigeria, Lagos. I think what was done so well is the storytelling, which is great because this episode was all about storytelling, building the story. And even after the reveal of the spider that whose back they were traveling on, like I didn't feel too fussed about the spider. Like the spider, yes, for a minute made me jump, I wouldn't lie, I'm a jumpy person. The real story was in that barbershop. Like they could have been riding anything, a horse, a whale. I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but me, for example, growing up, getting my hair done in a hair shop, that's exactly what it is. It's your community, it's people telling stories. I remember from like the age of 9, I'm just sat there, don't really understand a word that's happening, but my hairdresser, she's there talking to this other lady, talking, then another person comes in, they're like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, as a child, I'm just like, what is happening? But as you grow up, you realize that's your community. Those are the people who see you grow up. I've been going to my same hairdresser for probably since New Who, so that's what, 20 years I've probably been going to the same hairdressers, and you grow up there, you know. I also like that we got a bit more into Belinda's character, because at the moment Belinda's character has very much been, I want to go home, take me home, are we home yet? And I think it was really nice that the Doctor's story he told was about Belinda, how she saved this woman's life. And I did, my heart opened up even more for Belinda. I was like, wow, she is a really nice person. I'm still wondering like what the link is with her and Mundy Flynn, because I don't believe it's just a genetic link. I think there's something more, especially when Conrad said, have you met Belinda Chandra yet? Why did Conrad say that? I don't know. Again, if anyone knows, please tell me. Like, I know I'm here giving my thoughts, but just as well, I want your thoughts too. And then finally, honestly, my favorite part of the episode was towards the end when Abina's doing the Doctor's hair, telling her story, telling a story. She's telling the story of the hairstyle, which is cane rolls or cornrows, and I'm just like, wow, like I know that story. A lot of people do know that story, and it's why for Black people hair is so important. And she's just telling that story, doing the Doctor's hair, and then it comes like it brings the story of ancestors into this sci-fi show to be his means of escape, just like how it was when the hairstyle was originally used and what it was used for. And I was just like, wow, like I don't know, like I feel like whoever commissioned this story, you have done a lot, like just for a different demographic, you know. Like I feel like the Doctor is very much always in London, but I feel like just seeing the Doctor in Africa, seeing that story, seeing Avina do his hair, and then him like following the hair, I personally think it was done very well. And I actually want to watch the episode again. Like I think after this I might watch the episode. But yes, bravo Inua Ellams, because I honestly really loved that episode, and I think it was nice. Obviously Mrs. Flood was there for a split second, but for the most part that story was a bit separate from the main storyline, and I think that was really nice, because at first when I heard gods, I was like, is this going to be another one of the Pantheon? Are we going to hear a giggle? But no, it was its own story. Still gods, but it was its own story. It's just like a standalone episode. And we saw the fugitive Doctor again. My question was, right, so someone please answer this for me. Fugitive Doctor is the one who knew Abina, right? But when we met the fugitive Doctor, 13 didn't know who the fugitive Doctor was. So am I missing something, or am I forgetting something, that Ncuti remembered the face of Abina? Or was it just like, I remember that face, why do I know that face? But yeah, I love seeing the fugitive Doctor again. I would like her back, I'll be honest. Like if she came back as the next Doctor, that would be great, because I really did enjoy her Doctor. I didn't like that it was so short, because I wanted to get to know her more, and she seems a bit more fierce. She's a fugitive, everything. I'm like, I want to know your story. So, you know, if it hasn't been decided who the new Doctor is, that is now someone who's back in the running in my head. Let me know your thoughts on the episode. As you can tell, I absolutely loved it, and yeah, I'm excited. Next week we have the Interstellar Song Competition with Rylan. I feel like sometimes the people in Doctor Who is so random, but I love it and I am here for it.